So listen, I was 23 years old. I was making 10 to 20k in net profit from my own business. I could go on holiday whenever I wanted. I drove a nice BMW M Sport. I had lots of friends. I had a good life, right? I would wake up 6 a.m., spring straight out of bed, excited for the day ahead, ready to meet, read, journal, and then I would work all day, full of focus. After work, I'd go to the gym, and then Muay Thai after 2 hours training a day, easily. I had no problems with discipline whatsoever. I was making real progress in my life. Then in the space of 1.5 years later, in that time period, I was hacked, robbed, scammed. I had loads of money destroyed by a natural disaster, debt, family betrayal, right? And a full list of all the other things at the biggest scale you could ever imagine. It was like I was getting tortured. Now, with this, right, I started losing in my life big time. Now, what you'd usually think is if someone's been able to build a good life before, it'd be faster to do so again. Now, this taught me something about my psychology, right? And I went into some of the deepest, darkest places I've ever been in my life on my own, and slowly I had to drag myself out of it. Now, I'm not back on top to where I want to be yet, but in the past 6 months, I have made thousands of pounds for multiple clients, right? I've got shredded, put a picture up here. I have set goals that I'm really getting towards. I feel much, much better every single day, like night and day difference. And I've got a ticket to go move to a tropical island in 2 months. So life's looking pretty good right now, okay? Still, not up to where I need to be. I'm just telling you where I'm at. Now, I'm just going to tell you the reasons why you're not winning, okay? Now, I'm not necessarily winning in life, even still yet, right? But I have been winning, right? And I've been fucking losing, both to very extreme scales, right? Very extreme scales, like top 1%, bottom 1% type thing, right? Now I'm on the way up, and I really have got out of the most challenging period of my life, right? And I'm just going to tell you the brutal truth to why you're not winning in life, and I'm going to tell you the fucking honest 100% answer, right? So look, I've got this broken down into 3 things. So the first thing is your fucking attitude stinks, right? If you're not winning in life, I can guarantee your attitude's bad, right? Now, the reason why your attitude might be bad, if you've been getting beaten to death by life for so long, right, it's hard to stay optimistic, okay? When my heating went out, because I'd spent my last £1,000 on Facebook ads and lost all the money, yeah, and I didn't see a lot of my friends for months and nobody checked up on me, right? And I was in complete isolation trying to build my life back up and just failing at everything I did, no matter how hard I tried, yeah? That was a bad time. It took a bit of a toll on my attitude, right? Now, this is a big problem. A big problem. If you're moping around talking about your problems, if you're moping around being negative, nobody wants to hear that shit. And nobody's gonna come fix it for you. Yeah? Nobody is gonna come fix that shit for you. Now, even if they do care, right, what can they do to fix it? They can't stop living their life to come fix your problems, right? Now, the problem with developing a negative attitude, this shit's sticky. There's something that pulls you towards it. Now, if you do this for too long, what's going to happen is your self-image is going to change. This is what happened for me, right? I went from being the type of person, I'll be honest with you, right? Making money was easy for me, always has been. Absolutely easy. Now, the reason for that, right, is because I started making money straight away. I left college at 17, couldn't get a job. I started working as an entrepreneur, and I was just making money all the time. And it was just easy to me. Now, the reason why it seemed easy to me is because my image of myself was, I am this guy and it's easy to make money for me. So every time I'm looking for opportunities, it was just there, right? Because my self-image was right. I built this self-image up. I didn't have to try to change my self-image, it was just already positive. Okay, now this can work for and against you in certain areas of your life, and I'm not saying every area of my life was good, but also like confidence, I was super confident, I was able to go talk to anybody, that was no problem for me ever. And it's just crazy how all that changed because of my self-image, right? Now, something else on your self-image is improved based on feedback loops, right? So you've got to see something positive in order to build that self-image, right? So if I'm trying to make money every day and every day I make money, that belief, false or negative, if I make money, that belief will solidify and then my self-image will change, right? I've been studying all this a lot lately. So this is where my self-image was really bad. I developed a negative attitude. Now from this, honestly, I cannot tell you how low I was. I cannot tell you how low I was. From what I went to, yeah, to where I went, honestly, like this, it was like a disability, for real. I couldn't get out of it. So never mind making money, never mind making connection. You can't do anything when you're like that, right? So what happened as well is my habits started to slip, right? Because when you're in a situation where your life's on fire and everything's crumbling down, right? Your daily habits can look like such insignificance against the rest of your problems in your life, right? Because you're looking at them and thinking they're not going to fix my issue. So you stop doing the habits for a little bit, but the problem is you lose the confidence, and that's when your habits slip. So first thing you've got to do is get your habits back in, right? So I never stop training, no matter how bad my life gets, I never stop training, but I had to start reading again, right? I had to start meditating again. Okay, I had to stop listening to so much music all the time because I couldn't think, right? I had to really start just having something that I can do every day, because now I'm trying to change that self-image to someone who's disciplined and doing stuff every day, right? So that's the first thing. Next thing is accountability. Now look, I've never had any problems with being accountable. I've always blamed myself. Now sometimes that can make it a little bit worse, because when some shit happens to you that's not your fault, you blame it on yourself either way, right? And then sometimes you can take a hit, but you have to be accountable. You have to say, this is whatever is going on, regardless of whose problem it is, it's your problem to solve. Maybe you didn't create that problem, but it's your problem to solve. Nobody else is responsible for your life. This is what you got to understand. Now you can sit around with a bad attitude and get all pity party no matter what happened to you, yeah? Some fucked up shit might have happened to you, it happened to me, but you can't sit around and start blaming other people. You've got to take accountability. It might not be your problem, it might not be you that caused the problem, but it's your problem to fix. This is what you've got to understand, it is your problem to fix, nobody else's. Nobody's going to come fix these issues for you, simple as that, right? I'll use this as a wake-up call. Next thing is, I can't. You should never be saying I can't for anything, right? It's never I can't. Now, you might be in a situation where you fucking can't. For real, you can't. But you need to frame it different in your mind. You need to stop saying I can't, right? I had to stop saying I can't, and I had to say how can I? If you frame that one question differently in your mind, you will see so much change. When you start asking how can I? You will have a world of opportunity rather than a world of pessimism, right? Big change just from that one little thing, right? Now the next thing is watching, not doing. Are you watching people on the internet do stuff you want to do and you're not doing it yourself? Well, that is the biggest fucking waste of time I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah? Stop watching these people do what you want to do. Go do it yourself, right? Same with me, right? I'm watching people live the life I want to live, and if I'm not doing it, then that makes me an idiot. Fuck that. Fuck watching other people. I want to do that myself. I want to live that myself. Why can't I do it? That's how I look at it. So stop watching people and start taking action, yeah, yourself. Next thing I just want to touch upon, porn, drugs, playing Xbox. Listen, if you do it, I've been at my fucking rock bottom lowest, and maybe some of them I might have fucking relapsed in with my life are really bad, yeah. But these you should not be doing. I've never met somebody run a successful... Listen, I have genuinely rich friends. I have a lot of millionaire friends, right? Or even top 1% earners for the age. Right? I'm a young guy, right? I've never heard of anybody building a successful business while doing coke every weekend. Or while smoking weed every day. I've yet to hear it. Have you ever read a book or watched a motivational video or an entrepreneur speaking and told you they're doing drugs every day? No. So this is a big no-no. It fucks your brain. Never even do this. Never do that. Never do that. You're sabotaging yourself if you do that. The final thing I want to focus on is, so when it comes to fixing your attitude, the best leaps you will ever see in your life, personally worked for me, right, is turning from problem versus being solution focused. Listen, if you look for red cars, you're going to see red cars, yeah? if you look for problems, you're going to see problems. Now, if you look for solutions, you're going to see solutions. This is where you have to be seriously honest with yourself and really do an audit on how you're thinking about things. Now, if you implement this into your mindset, okay, what you're going to find is, if you're being brutally honest, you're going to notice times when you're focusing on problems instead of solutions, right? Look at a problem. No, I'm not saying don't look at your problems, but find a solution for them. But think about solutions, look for solutions. Big difference in your life. Now, look, 1 second, guys. Now, look. This is the biggest thing that will completely change your life. This is the game changer, right? Now we're talking about goal setting, right? Look, if somebody comes and asks you your goals right now, if you do not know your goals down to a T, you are not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, right? Listen, when I built my first business, I didn't have £2 coins to rub together. Listen to me very carefully, yeah? I had to pick scrap metal up from the side of the road. I would sell cigarettes. I would swap my entire youth to learn how to make money. I had to do a lot of shit I didn't want to do. Now, the only thing that made it all bearable, right, please understand, is because I had my goals set. Now, the reason why you need to have goals set is because the goal is a specific target in your life that's going to be a game changer, right? So if you are not following this set goal, okay, you are not going to be able to bear through the pain to make real life change, okay? You have to have it. Now, look, when I went super broke, I never had a job before, right? You don't understand. I've never worked for anybody, so I had to get minimum wage jobs. I got like a parcel delivery job, and I worked in a warehouse, and I worked 80 hours a week. And listen, my life was fucking shit. My life was shit, yeah? And I got at the point when I'm thinking, I'm not going to get out of this. I do not know what to do. I've got no one to turn to. I will never be able to get out of this. Right? Now, I had to ramp it up. Now, the reason why I was able to get through that storm in my life is because I had the goals. I had the goals and I fucking believed them. I fucking believed them. So look, if you cannot recite all your goals off the top of your head, there's no wonder why you're drifting, right? The goals are the target. You need a target to go towards. And look, this doesn't seem like much. This is some random guy talking shit on a whiteboard, right? But listen, I've done it before, right? I'm going to show you how I'm doing it again. I've hit a couple of my goals, and I'm living this plan. I'm working this plan and actively living it. One of my goals is to live on a tropical island. Listen, I've got a one-way ticket. I'm going in 3 months. I've got myself in the position to do that. Yeah? I really have. And if you would have seen where I was 12 months ago, wow. Wow, like mentally as a character, wow. Wow, honestly, you would be so shocked. But I wrote this down every single day. I have the goals set. Because when I have the goals set, they're always in the top of my mind. But where I'm going is always in the top of mind. So the pain that I have to endure, it's easier to do because I'm not living in this scenario. I'm living in the goal. My mind's always on the goal. My mind isn't on the current situation, right? If you haven't got the goal and you're looking at your current situation, it can be fucking shit, depending on where your life's at, yeah? So you need goals. So this is how you set proper goals that actually make changes in your life, right? Now, you have to write down your goals every single day. Now, this is something I do every single morning, okay? I have multiple notebooks. This is my legend planner. This is my daily planner, right? As you can see, I'm working the plan. I have monthly goals that I have set, and then that's broken down into daily action, right? And what I also do is I have another notepad downstairs that is for daily action, right? I reflect on every single day and I write my goals down every single day and I read them every single day. I don't have to think what are my goals. I know what my goals are. I absolutely know what my goals are. Now I write them in the present tense. Okay, so one of my goals is I want to be 200 pounds lean. Okay, but I write down I am 200 pounds lean. Okay, now I'm writing this down every day. My life's really busy at the minute. I haven't really got time. You know, if I didn't have the goal, I'd maybe not have time to say like, right, now I need to go get a proper coach, right? But because I'm writing this goal down every day and it's always on my mind, I'm always thinking about it. The goal's there, so it's like an itch that needs to be scratched. Now, the key to goal setting and goal achievement, right? You've got to understand that it comes down to daily action, okay? This is something we're going to touch upon in a second, but you need to really refer to this on a daily basis. And you need to have specific goals. I am this. I earn this. I live here, right? You've got to write it down like that. And if you write it down like that, yeah, make big fucking goals as well. Make big goals. Don't be writing little boy goals. It's alright to have little ones every now and again, but write big fucking goals. Why not? Why can't? Who says you can't achieve them? People in worse positions have achieved much more than you have right now. So why can't you do it? Everyone can do it. Yeah, I've done it before and I'll do it again. I am showing you. I'm living this life right now. I am living this life right now. Yeah. So be specific. Be specific. Get a planner and reflect. Right? Reflect. So this goes on to the next thing. Now, you don't want to be saying, oh, my goal is, I want to be rich, right? That's not going to get you any direction to anywhere. You need to have the specific goal. Now, what else? This is another trick. When you have this specific goal in mind, right? Now, your specific goal is going to be tied to the type of character that you are. Now, when you start convincing yourself of these goals, your mind's going to start imagining your life living these goals, right? And you're going to develop this self-image and you're going to imagine this character, okay? Now, when you imagine this character in such detail, your mind doesn't know the difference between an imagination and a lived event. So you will start acting in accordance with this character. Now, let me tell you something. There's not many people that have been less broke than me, right? I started with 0, and this time I started from less than 0, right? There's not many people walking this earth who've been in more fucked up situations than me, started with less than me. I'm not the worst person. I'm not the worst. There's people much poorer than me. It really is a much harder life than me. I'm not sitting here to say I've had a hard life, right? But what I'm saying is, sometimes all of you've got is your imagination and your fucking hands, right? So you best use them both. Because if you don't, and you just live in the squalor of your current life, you're not going to move. You have to be able to use your imagination, imagine the person you want to be. This can sound like bullshit right now, but I'm going to film this full thing on this fucking channel. So, let's lock in. Anyway, the next thing is, now you've got your goals set, you've fixed your attitude, you're taking accountability, you're focusing on solutions, you're more positive, you're not talking about your issues all the time, you're asking people how they are, you're building your mindset up, you're looking for opportunities, you're getting opportunities. This is what you need to focus on, and this is all you need to focus on today, right? Regardless of your situation, the only thing that you can focus on is daily action, right? And listen, I've been in scenarios where my full life has been on fire. Big problems. Big problems. And I'm just sat there and I'm thinking, whatever I do today is not going to fix what is going on, right? Now, the problem with that is that puts you in disability mode. You feel like you're not in control, but you can only do what you can do on that day. You can only do what you can do on that day. And like for these goals, right? You've got to think. I'm moving to a tropical island in a couple of months. Yeah, Thailand. Well, 2 years ago, I didn't have a place to live. Right? I didn't have a place to live. And while I was trying to find one, my life was fucked up. So, it's kind of nice to be able to, to do that. That came from goals. Now, this didn't come from just having this random goal, but it came from the daily action. Yeah. So you have to use this goal, right? Let's say I've got a big goal. I want to be 200 pounds lean, right? Now, I got a little bit out of shape. I've been training for like 10 years now. I got a little bit out of shape, so I wasn't lean and I didn't have much muscle mass, okay? Now, I have to go through a long process of losing the fat and then gaining the muscle. And that all has to be brought down into daily action. Because the only way that you can get these goals is through daily action over time. So I don't have to stress about being 200 pounds. I'm not looking on the weighing scale every day and thinking, why am I not 200 pounds today? Yeah, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, right, have I done my cardio today? Have I put the cardio in my planner? Right? Have I eaten my meals today? Have I tracked my meals? And have I lost 1 pound? 1 pound in weight? Or have I gained 0.25 pounds in weight? That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for the daily action. I'm just concerned about daily action. I'm tracking my habits. What have I done today? Is my daily action going to equal a fucking result? I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. If I'm posting every day, have I posted every day? If I look back on the week and I haven't posted every day, I'm not going to get to where I want to get to. So the only thing you don't have to be worried about what he's doing, you don't have to worry about what they're saying, you don't have to worry about what your life should be, you don't have to worry about what happened to you. Oh, nobody cares, nobody gives a fuck, it doesn't mean anything. The only thing you should be concerned about is doing the daily action. When you do the daily action, the results will come. The results will come. Now, this means you need to make the most out of each day, right? So if you're spending your days getting out of bed at 11 a.m. and you're watching TikTok straight out of bed and you're answering phone calls while you're working and you're spending money on some ungrateful fucking, woman that expects you to be rich while you're building a business in your 20s, right? And you're watching YouTube in the middle of the day, like I do sometimes, to be fair, bad habit, right? Then you're not making the most out of each day. You're not making the most out of each day. The only thing you need to do is focus on getting the most out of each day. So what's that look like? Stop doing all the bullshit, right? Stop being distracted. Make sure you're working every day. Make sure you're planning every day. Make sure you're reflecting on each day to get better. And protect your focus at all costs. That is your asset. So look, this is the brutal truth. Why are you not fucking winning in life? If I could have spoke to myself when I was losing, I'd have fucking said it a lot worse than this video, right? I've been a loser, I've been a winner, and I choose winning every fucking time, yeah? And you're gonna see me winning again. So, yeah, this is the plan. If you're not doing these, this is why you're fucking up. Take it from me, I've been a winner, I've been a loser, and yeah, I don't choose being a fucking loser. So yeah, till next time, watch the video down here next.